Stabilization Application Funding Program. That's a Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funding through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. John Bannon, the Community Development Coordinator, is here. John, you want to give us an overview of the program and where we're at?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Inman. Just to reiterate what was discussed last week, this is the same program, the Downstate Small Business Stabilization Grant Program. In 2019, the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity did allocate $4 million for economic development from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and their Community Development Block Grant Program. The Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity then did reallocate $20 million for the urgent need of preserving low to moderate income employment. Through this, they initiated the Downstate Small Business Stabilization Program. This does award $25,000 or 60 days working capital, whichever is less, to small businesses throughout the downstate area. Entitlement areas are excluded, which again is most major metropolitan areas within the state. City of Macomb intends to apply on behalf of 2 more businesses to the State Community Development Block Grant Program. These businesses are Hollister Home Center for $25,000 and Michael's Hair Designers for $15,000. The public hearing today will discuss them, and then a resolution will be passed for each of these businesses. And then if these businesses are awarded their application, the city would receive the funds and then disperse them to businesses on a reimbursement basis as receipts and invoices are provided. The program is the exact same program for the 6 businesses voted through last week. I would be happy to entertain any questions. I would only say that upon review, the applications are of a nature where I think the city is in a good spot with regard to all of the clawback provisions that were discussed last week and the risk of the state collecting on them in the event of a failure to remain in business. And so again, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, any questions from the alderman on this, the 2 proposed businesses today, or anything regarding the program in general?
I would ask if they have any status on what we passed last week. Have they been turned in or heard anything back on them or anything?
The applications are about ready to be submitted. There was some revision both on the city side of the forms as well as some of the business materials in those packets. So not material changes, just formatting changes. These are grant applications, and there are a lot of moving parts, so just getting those to fit neatly together and be formatted in as neat, professional, and complete a manner as possible has taken a bit of time. But the 5 of the applications will go out shortly. An application still has not been received for 1 of them. So until that application is received, the city will obviously not move forward with submitting that application.
Well, on a personal note, I don't know why we consider them if they don't have their applications into us.
Well, I think there had been interest, and there's a certain expense to the city for publishing and going through the public notice process. So that's why we put forth that, and that was the resolution that was passed only contingent upon the submission of a complete application packet.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All righty, anyone from the public or the media have any questions for Mr. Bannon under the public hearing section? All right, hearing none, will anyone from staff here in the meeting in person? All right, John, anything else to add?
No, I would just like to thank all of the partners that we've had as well, and staff within the city, as well as the small businesses themselves. from maid co to the city clerk and everyone in between. It's really been a team effort preparing these, as well as the aldermen for their support. So thank you.
Very good, thank you. Then for the purposes of the public hearing, we'll conclude. Thanks very much.
They'll be easy to type.
Okay, 6 minutes.
So,
Okay. Well, I'll share some of this testing update at the end of the meeting, but it's looking better. Our overall positive test rate is 7.3%. No new cases today, no new cases yesterday. One. I'd like to call the Macomb City Council Committee of the Whole to order, please. If the clerk would call the roll.
Mike Wayland,
Here.
John Vajezi,
Here.
Annette Carper,
Here.
Tom Cook,
Present.
Gail Carper,
Here.
Tammy Lee Brown Edwards,
Here.
Dennis Moon,
Here.
7 present.
We have a quorum. Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak to the council under the public comment section of tonight's agenda? Okay. Anyone under public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 1. Consideration of a council resolution of support for Hollister Home Center's Downstate Small Business Stabilization Grant application. A copy of the resolution is attached in your packet, and this is a power to act item. John, would you like to come up and go over real quickly again what we're hoping to obtain by this? Then I'll ask the city attorney to read the resolution into the record.
Mm-hmm. Sure, thank you, Mayor. The City of Macomb is applying for Hollister Home Center and Michael's Hair Designers. Those are the two resolutions up. Sorry, for Hollister Home Centers. So the resolution before you today would enable City of Macomb to apply for the Community Development Block Grant, in this case in the amount of $25,000. It is a precondition of the grant program that a resolution be passed for each small business applicant, and so this is the resolution that would enable the city to do so.
Okay, if we could have the city attorney, Ms. Scalf, if you could read the resolution in the record for us, please.
Thank you. This is a resolution of support for Hollister Home Center's Downstate Small Business Stabilization Grant application. The city would be applying on behalf of the business. The grant is used to assist small businesses with working capital. The resolution would allow the city clerk and the mayor to execute any documents associated with the application and to provide any information that is required to assist with processing the grant.
Thank you. That'll stand as the resolution being read into the record, and entertain a motion to approve the downstate grant stabilization, small business stabilization grant application for Hollister Home Center.
Move to approve the grant support for Hollister Home Center. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution of support. Any discussion? And just for the record, there was a public hearing held prior to this meeting from 5 o'clock till about 5:12 regarding both this application and the application that's identified in the agenda item number 2. And again, this is the city is acting as the grant applicant for these two businesses, as well as several businesses that were approved for resolutions of support last Monday at the city council meeting. There is a provision whereby the city is backstopping these loans through the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Any further discussion or questions regarding the support for Hollister Home Center? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Wayland,
Recuse.
Vajezi,
Aye.
A. Carper,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
G. Carper,
Aye.
Brown Edwards,
Aye.
Moon.
Pass.
Okay, always.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 2 is similar to item number 1, a consideration for a resolution of support for Michael's Hair Designers, hair salons, for the Downstate Small Business Stabilization Grant application. This, too, is a power to act. John, was there any deviation or difference between this resolution and the previous resolution? No. All right. So without objection, we'll waive the resolution being read into the record. We would entertain a motion to approve the resolution of support.
Move to support Michael, Bear Designers. Second.
It's moved and seconded to approve the resolution of support. Any discussion on this item?
Quick question, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Vajezi.
This is also for $25,000.
Alderman Vajezi, this is actually for $15,000.
$15,000. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Any other comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Vajezi,
Aye.
A. Carper,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
G. Carper,
Aye.
Brown Edwards,
Aye.
Moon,
Pass.
Wayland,
Aye.
all ayes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 3, discussion on a residential initiation stabilization effort, also known as RISE application, for Western Illinois University Sigma Chi House Corporation to demolish 611 West Adams Street, with the City of Macomb's reimbursement to be $5,000, and that's per demolition guidelines. There's a memorandum in your packet from the Community Development Coordinator. John, could you come up and go over the memorandum, please?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Just to go over the program briefly, the City of Macomb has launched a local program to work in partnership with property owners to remove abandoned, dilapidated, and blighted housing on a partial reimbursement basis. The city has allocated $100,000 to the RISE program. Western Illinois University Sigma Chi House Corporation applied to the RISE program for one property with a demolition and greening cost of $11,500. If approved, the city would reimburse 50% of that demolition cost up to $5,000, which would be $5,000. Due to COVID-19 and the need for the applicant to move quickly, the applications are moving directly to City Council and have not gone to the Community Development Committee. Staff is requesting that Council approve the RISE application by Western Illinois University Sigma Chi House Corporation for 611 West Adams in the amount of $5,000 for a demolition and greening cost of $11,500. The staff would remind the aldermen that this will be reimbursed upon the final demolition and inspection of the property, and more than 50% in this case of the cost will be borne by private parties. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to go over them. And I believe the representative of Sigma Chi House Corporation, Joel Rydell, was going to try to call in, but he is remote, so I'm not. There may be someone available for questions if there is a need for that.
Okay, is there anyone
is
on the
Gail.
line representing the Sigma Chi House Corporation? Okay, not hear anyone. Any of the aldermen have any questions for Mr. Bannon regarding this proposal?
Yeah, this is Gail Carper.
Alderman Carper.
I just wondered if you had a timeline from them on when they would start doing this?
I believe this summer would be a safe assumption. I think the desire is to move quickly, but I think a couple of months might be a reasonable timeline.
When you get the applications, do they indicate who does the work?
As a condition, there would have to be two bids submitted for demolitions. The low bid for this property was Collins Excavating.
Okay, thank you.
But again, I would remind that the city is only liable for $5,000 of that, regardless of if 50% of that cost were to be higher.
Anyone else?
Just for
this is-
clarification,
Alderman.
this has nothing to do with Western Illinois University. That's just part of their name.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
This-
the corporate name.
yeah. This is the Sigma Chi House. It's the fraternity.
Right, I understand that. I just want the public to understand this has nothing to do with Western Illinois University.
Very good.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Honor, this is Matt Carper.
Alderman Carper.
Yes, I'm just curious, John, you had noted a moment ago that this needed to be rushed along, and so therefore we skipped the zoning committee. So I was wondering, why does it need to be rushed?
I think the property owners have some need to move along quickly for, just to make their meet their goals with this. And I think the Community Development Committee hasn't met just due to COVID-19, and so we, in the interest of working with them, especially now that we've worked with other applicants, we wanted to make sure we facilitated that to the same degree.
Okay,
So-
I understand. Thank you.
We just had a 847 number join. Can I ask who that is?
Joel Rydell, sorry for coming in late.
No problem, Mr. Riley. You're just in time. We're discussing the.
Okay.
Do you have any? There'd been some questions about a timeline here. Do you have any proposed timeline for this demolition to occur?
Anytime after June 15th. So we have renters in there until May 31st, at least legally on our lease.
Okay.
So, and then we need about 2 weeks to get everything out of there.
Okay.
That we want out of there. So we have told the gentleman he could start anytime after June 15th, and I'm assuming he wants paid, so I'm assuming he wants to do it pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think 2 months would be a reasonable time frame. Maybe 3 on the outside, but June 15th seems like a reasonable goal.
Anyone?
Well, no, June 15th, it could start after June 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyone?
Unfortunately, we have those renters, and getting a hold of all 4 of these guys seems like it's a challenge. So we really can't seem to, and, I don't want to press that issue of, going down that route of asking them to leave early, et cetera.
Okay. Does anyone have any of the council members have any questions for Mr. Rydell? Okay. Hearing no other discussion, we'll place that on for action at next Monday's city council meeting. Alrighty, John, this is...
Will you need me on that call again, or is this suffice?
Mr. Rydell, if it would be possible, that would be helpful, just in the off chance somebody would have some questions come up between now and next Monday. We'd hopefully have you on the line to answer anything that
I'll
may
be
come.
on it then.
Thank you very much.
Same time,
5:15.
Same time, 5:15?
5:15.
I'll be on it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bannon, no sense in getting any anxious here. You're up for the next item, too. So, an update on the complete count census.
Thank you, Mayor. I would just like to share a couple of numbers with you. Macomb is at about 55.1%. We've continued to inch up, and that's great. I'd like to see that momentum continue. We're actually increased in every single census tract in the city this week, except for one, and I think that's an administrative one where we'll actually see some growth due to some large group quarters. And some good news about the state of Illinois. The state of Illinois is actually at about 63.7% self-response right now, and it was 70% total in 2010. So I think as a state and as a community, we're on a good path to exceed expectations, or at least exceed 2010 figures for self-response rates. And I just ask you to continue to speak to your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers on the importance of filling out the census. It seems to be working. We continue to get higher numbers, but there's still a long way to go between 55 and 100, so we'd appreciate your continued support.
Very good. Any questions for John on the complete count census? Alrighty, and again, remind folks that the deadline has been extended to October 31st for all census activity to be complete, including house-to-house enumeration, things like that. So I think that's a plus. couple other things I'd like to give the council an update on, one of which is the budget. And since we are in the first 10 days or so of our fiscal year, I want to remind the council and the folks in general about where we're at. So we did receive some preliminary estimates on reductions of revenue from the Illinois Municipal League. We've asked the business office to compute some of those, and we've come up with a number that would likely impact our level of revenue for the next fiscal year. Again, keeping in mind that this is very fluid, and we don't have any hard numbers and will not have any hard numbers reflecting any current economic activity for April until about this time next month. So with that in mind, we did ask department heads to go through and look at achieving some reductions in their budget for this current fiscal year. We would estimate that between lost revenue and the potential for other issues to play into that we would need to look at cutting somewhere between $500,000 and $750,000 from our current fiscal year, and those projections have been borne out by some of the estimates in revenue decline that the IML has provided us for projection and planning purposes. I would tell you that after some initial consultation with department heads, we're on track to receive or to achieve those kind of budgetary cost reductions. So we're grateful for their efforts, and we will keep the council informed as that discussion is ongoing. Also, it'll give you an update on some of the pandemic-related numbers from the health department. There was one additional case reported out of 33 tests that were conducted Saturday, and 0 cases out of 19 tests that were reported on Sunday, and 0 cases out of 26 tests that were reported today. So the information would indicate that almost 700 tests have been conducted in McDonough County since the pandemic has occurred, and we're running 49 positive cases in McDonough County, which yields about a 7.3% of positivity in those cases, which is well below the standard that most experts are indicating as are part of matrix to determine the opening up of economic activity for any area, but specifically here. So we're encouraged by those numbers, knowing full well that additional testing will have to occur and contact tracing will have to stay on track before and that number remain in that range for us to move forward. So we're, again, cautiously optimistic about that, given the number of tests that still need to be conducted, a larger population. Also would remind the general public that Waste Management has informed us that although there is no curbside take-all cleanup that's scheduled for this spring, that has been postponed, not canceled. So anyone that maybe was still under the impression that that was going to occur, it would normally occur this week and next. That's not happening. However, Waste Management has indicated that on an individual basis, persons who are wanting to get rid of large bulk items of refuse, that they have re-implemented the ability to take those on an individual basis. It does require a sticker, and that sticker can be obtained through City Hall. The sticker is $20, and folks desiring to set large bulky items out that need a sticker for that to occur can come to City Hall. The number is posted on both entrances into City Hall. Make a phone call into City Hall staff indicating that you'd like to obtain one of those stickers, and we'll arrange that transaction to occur. So once again, on an individual basis, Waste Management has indicated that they would pick up large bulk items with a sticker. A sticker is required, and the sticker can be obtained through City Hall, and come to City Hall and simply call the number that's posted on the exterior door of City Hall, and there'll be a City Hall staff person that will accommodate and allow that transaction to occur. But again, it's on a case-by-case basis. Alrighty, I don't believe we have anything else to share with you this evening. We'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 And all opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.